Hello everyone, Parallel here, and welcome to Star Trek Online. In this video, I wanted to go through the patch notes, which just came out today. Today is November 19th, and there was another pretty significant patch that went live today. For the second week in a row, we've gotten a pretty decent patch with some actual content and some nice changes. So I wanted to go through what has changed in this patch, go through the patch notes, and discuss a few things and take a look at how the changes actually appear in the game. There are also some events going on. I can quickly cover those as well. Let's go ahead and get started here. Now, the first thing they added was a brand new featured episode. The featured episode, Stormbound. I was actually really hoping to play this tonight and do a video on this, but as fate would have it, I've been having a lot of connection issues with the game tonight. I don't know if there's some issues with a patch or what's going on here, but I've been getting a lot of disconnects and login, dropping to login screen, lots of SNRs. So that just wasn't going to happen. I didn't want to risk going through the episode and then dropping and losing the immersion of it. Yes, I do like to play these featured episodes for at least some immersion and enjoy them, and having the disconnects would have really hampered that. So unfortunately I won't be playing that tonight, but I will be playing that in the near future, hopefully tomorrow if the connection issues are resolved. And I'm very much looking forward to that, and hopefully this will continue the story with the Tholians and our time-traveling friend Caldano, and we'll find out what happens with the Taxutat. So very much looking forward to that. So that is the featured episode, and there are going to be rewards as part of that episode. I can quickly take a look at them here. But I will, of course, go into more detail during the actual, when I actually create a video on the featured episode itself. But it looks like there is actually another space set going on here. You've got your quantum phase deflector, new science emitter array. Oh, that's just a regular emitter array. Okay, so for the first week you can get the quantum phase deflector. It's part of a 3-piece set. So you get the deflector array. This one looks pretty interesting. It has shield flow caps, that's nice. Shield emitters, pretty decent. And power insulators. The next one that's coming out will be the impulse engines, and then the shields, which will be a resilient shield array. The engines are combat impulse engines, not my favorite, honestly. Not sure how strong they will be. Auxiliary power setting. When at full impulse, you do get some interesting bonuses. Flow caps, particle gens, and EPS. Huh. Oh, but wait a minute. While full impulse is active, not full throttle. So you actually get bonuses at full impulse and then 15 seconds after. That's actually kind of interesting. I'm not sure, it's a little bit gimmicky, but I could see you could get those little buffs right when you drop out of full impulse, and actually having a little bit of EPS buff there will help get your power levels back to normal. So I guess not too bad. Maybe a little gimmicky, but could have some usefulness. And then the resilient shield, 10% incoming shield heal to self. 10% incoming shield healing to self. Not quite sure what that's saying there. But it looks like your typical resilient shield, 5% bleed through, 5% absorption. 10% incoming shield healing to self. Not sure does that mean incoming damage is a shield heal? You get 10% of that as a shield heal? That could be good for like a tanking type ability. It does give you some science officer abilities will repair your shields, so you get some regen when you do tachyon beam, charged particle burst, energy siphon. Interesting. So this could be like a shield tanking science-y type set is the kind of vibe I'm getting here. Interesting. I will definitely have to take a look at those. When I actually play the episode and do a video on that, I'll go in more detail there. Once I get one of the pieces, I'll be able to right click on it and get info and check out what the actual set bonuses are, because there's a 3-piece set bonus there. Okay, so that's one major thing that came out today in the patch. But there is one other significant change. Very, very nice change that has been anticipated for a very, very long time. I've been looking forward to this. Cryptic has been hinting at it for a while. I've heard them mention it in interviews. And it's a bit of a surprise. I didn't think it would be coming out this soon. But right on the heels of last week, they added the dry dock and the new shuttles added to the Admiralty system. Right on the heels of that, they added another kind of improvement, quality of life improvement here, where they have separated space and ground personal traits. So I'm going to go over here to my traits tab, and you will see they actually have a full 9 slots for ground and a full 9 slots for space. And as you can see here, it completely blanked out all of my traits when I logged in. So I'm going to actually have to go through here and give these all of a look and work on a build. And actually work on a ground build, because I'm not gonna lie, it's funny, I'm not much of a ground player. I mean, I do enjoy it as a side distraction, but the truth is I literally never switched out my space traits for ground, so I never even looked at the ground traits in much detail. So I've never actually sort of thought about a ground build. At least for traits. I mean, for my weapons and whatnot, sure, but I've never done it for traits. So I'm actually not sure what a lot of traits I even have on these characters. But I did want to go through the space and ground traits. I mean, as part of this separation that they've done here, they've actually added a lot of just brand new traits, flat out added them to the games, and everyone gets them. They're not, in lock boxes or anything else. You just automatically get these brand new traits. And that's what I'd like to actually spend a bit of time going through all of these actual new traits that they've added. They added 14 space traits and 4 ground traits. So that's quite a bit. And a lot of these actually look very, very nice. I mean, a lot of these, if these were lockbox traits, you'd be paying 100 million for these things. A lot of these actually look really, really good. So I will go through that here shortly after I finish up with the patch notes. I do want to take a look at all of those traits. I think I'll go out into space to take a look at those, the space traits, and then go on the ground to look at the ground traits just to make sure the numbers are reasonable and, calculating properly. So that is a very cool improvement, just amazingly good. And I'm actually, another thing that made me want to put off doing the featured episode is I wanted to go in here and actually, create that ground build and actually slot the traits that I want. This system is going to be really great, particularly for missions, because, in missions you do space and ground content. You'll be, you'll beam up to your ship, do some combat, beam down to the ground and do some combat. And this is really great for that because, I mean, whoever in the middle of a mission would ever swap out all 9 of their traits every time they beam up to their ship or beam down to the ground. I just don't think it ever happened. And this new system will resolve that. I mean, I could see maybe if people were going to be doing a bunch of STFs on the ground, they'd swap out their traits, but in the middle of a mission, I just don't see it. So this system is going to be great for the featured episode and, any mission, honestly. So going through this first, I think, was a good idea, and then doing the featured episode, hopefully tomorrow, will really take advantage of this new system. So what else we got going on here in the patch notes? They did resolve some UI issues, some crashing issues, the issue where gold members were not getting their 10 free dock slots. I'm a lifetime member, and I actually got the 10, so I think it was only with gold members who weren't lifetime members. We're having some issues there where they only got 5 instead of 10. Nice of them to fix that. What else did they do? Resolved an issue that was locking out Liberated Borg and Talaxian captains. And Mako helmets can now be worn by female captains once again. Okay. Interesting there for all of you Mako armor users. Now, they did make some other changes here. One thing they did change is, it looks like they've gone through, as they've been doing in the last several patches, they've been going through all the remaining space queues and ground queues and changing the advanced versions to their more standard practice that they've been doing, where the optional objectives are truly optional and they can be failed and you can still succeed the mission. But you just get instead of failing the entire mission, you just get reduced number of marks. So they've been going through a lot of the advanced queues and doing that change, and the recent one they've done here in this patch was Khitomer Vortex Advanced. So that change is ongoing. I'm sure there'll be more queues left to do as the patches continue. And episodes in the Iconian War can now be skipped if you're the appropriate level. So I'm actually getting curious. They did say they added a new episode category here, future proof. Future proof. So the Sunrise episode. So this looks like this will be the new arc following the Iconian arc, called Future Proof. And Sunrise was the previous featured episode, which I did a playthrough for. That was a lot of fun. Very much enjoyed that episode. And I'm sure Stormbound will be the next episode that will go into this category once it is done being a featured episode. So that's very, very nice. So a good little patch. In particular, the big thing, of course, is the traits, but then the new featured episode is great. And yes, one other thing that started today is it is another Shuttle event weekend. And so you can see all the shuttle queues are here. You got your Fleet Alert shuttle event, which is really good, and Storming the Spire. And you've got, that's Mirror Invasion, but you've got also your Vault shuttle event and Atmospheric Assault. Now, I'll tell you right now, this weekend is fantastic. A lot of these queues are very quick, and they're not very difficult in shuttles, and you get excellent marks for these. You get your choice of marks, and it is amazingly good for farming marks, because it's a very quick mission. You can do it on your alts. And so definitely take advantage of these shuttle weekends. You can max out your marks you need to farm up your reputations really fast, much faster than the mirror invasion, because that queue takes quite a while. Honestly, a lot of these shuttle queues can be completed in like 5 minutes. So definitely take advantage of the shuttle weekend. I will be taking advantage of the shuttle weekend, of course, and doing a video on that this weekend as well. And this will be the first chance I've had to take my new Mirror Danube runabout out for a spin and actually give it a try. This, of course, was the Mirror. They just had the recent charity event last week where they were giving out the Mirror runabout and the Mirror Guardian cruiser, which I also would like to do a build on eventually, but that's a little ways down the road. But they did give away this Danube runabout, and since this is shuttle weekend, why not take advantage, fly this ship around and see how it performs? It is a more tactically oriented shuttle. You can see it actually has 2 tactical consoles, but no science. So I do want to take this thing out for a spin and see how it does, and I will do that in a shuttle event in a video coming out this weekend. Alright, so, and in fact I'm on the bridge of the Mirror runabout right now. It doesn't look any different, unfortunately, but yeah, that's where I am currently. So that is pretty much all the changes in the patch notes, the events going on, the featured episode, and the new trait system. All really, really great changes. Now, before I sign off this video, I did want to take a look at the traits themselves. Now, there was a blog post on this, and I'm going to pull it up here on my other computer because they have the details on all the 14 space traits and 4 ground traits that they added, so I make sure I don't miss any here. But I would like to go firstly through the space traits. Well, actually, why don't we start with ground? There's only 4 of them. It'll be much quicker. And I believe if I leave my ship interior here, I think I was on the ground when I entered it. Now, one thing I'm very, very curious about is they added a trait called Operative. which is supposed to be like a, oh geez, I'm getting server not responding again. See, this is what was happening earlier, why I didn't play the featured episode. I really, really hope this, come on, don't drop me, please. Well, that's deciding if it wants to drop me or not. I will continue talking about this operative trait. So the operative trait is basically supposed to be like a watered-down version of Superior Romulan Operative, but all races are able to use it. That's pretty cool. Now, I'm not quite sure the stats on it, and I want to take a look at that, but I'm actually curious how this trait interacts with Superior Romulan Operative. So I'm actually on my Romulan character. I wanted to see, can you slot both of them, or does one override the other, or do they just not even have Operative because they already have Superior Romulan Operative? So I wanted to check that out as soon as this finishes loading. Please don't drop me. There, it dropped me. All right, I'm back, everyone. Sorry about that. I got disconnected and had to do a quick jump cut there, but I am back, and we are here on the ground in New Romulus, and I wanted to check out the ground traits first. So let's go ahead and take a look here at what the ground traits are. Now, the ones that they added are, looks like they added pistol training, rifle training, assault training, and field technician. So down here I saw assault training, pistol, and rifle training. So there's 3 of them right there. Let's take a look at each one of these. Because I think, yep, so each one of them looks like it's just a flat 5% damage to that weapon type. I do usually mostly use rifles, so I'll go ahead and put that one in. And the other one is field technician. Field technician, here it is. Plus kit recharge time reduction. So you get a 10% kit recharge time, minus 10%. I guess not terrible. Like I said, I'm honestly not very familiar with other ground traits. So I don't know how good that is in comparison. But, reduced recharge time on your kit powers, why not? Probably, like a 30-second power, that's 3 seconds off. Why not? It's not bad. Unless you have a lot of other traits that you're trying to fit in. Seems like it would at least be somewhat useful. So those are the ground traits. Looks like they're pretty straightforward, but it's still nice that they did add them. And I will have to go through here and make an actual ground build. Definitely be putting peak health in there. Probably plasma. I wonder if plasma weapon specialist stacks with rifle training. I'll have to buy a plasma weapon because I'm using anti-proton right now. But that could be a pretty nice 10% damage. Would be pretty good. But yeah, I will definitely go through here and do a ground build and get that ready for the featured episode video that I'll do. Now let's head up into space and let's take a look at the space traits. Now, like I was saying right before the cutoff there, and I got disconnected, I do want to see how the new operative trait stacks or interacts with the Romulan operative trait. So let's head over to space traits here, and I will go down the list of what is new. So the first one here is imposing presence. Imposing presence. Where are you? Are all these towards the bottom? Looks like it. Okay. Imposing presence, plus threat, and outgoing hull healing. Space trait improves outgoing hull healing powers and makes enemies more likely to attack you. That sounds like a very good trait for you tank players out there. I still want to make a tank build at some point, but yeah, it requires a lot of re-gearing and probably a respec, so that's a little ways out before I can get there. But I do have interest in it because I've seen some pretty interesting tank builds that could just put out insane amounts of healing. So there it is. Imposing presence, so definitely a good trait there. Again, you'd be paying a lot for that if this was on the exchange. If these were all traits you had to get out of a lockbox or something, these would be very valuable. What else we got here? Innocuous. So minus threat and plus crit severity. Crit severity. 1.5% crit severity. That's really, really low. Maybe that was supposed to be crit chance? That's all I could... 1.5% crit chance would be decent. 1.5% crit severity, that's like nothing. I mean, that's like really, really nothing. I mean, like, if I'm looking at my ship right here, what do I got? My crit severity is 102. That's only one more point. That's just not... I don't know. I can't see that using that trait for anything, honestly. That's kind of disappointing. So I'd say definitely pass on innocuous. I just don't see... I mean, the minus 25% threat, sure, but yeah. Threat is a little bit wonky in this game anyway. It's affected by a lot of things, so I can't see slotting that. Next we got up Fleet Coordinator. Fleet Coordinator, where are you at? I think I saw you up here, yes. Okay, Fleet Coordinator, space trait, decrease your damage based on how many players are in your party. Or increase, sorry, did I say decrease? Increase your damage. Plus 2% all damage per team member, self included. Wow, I like that. Up to 10% all damage? Really? That's good. That's really good. Even alone, you're still getting 2%. 2% all damage. I mean, if that's actually true all damage, like a true Cat 2 all damage, like to exotic and everything, kinetic and energy, that's amazing. Holy cow. I'll be slotting that thing for sure. So yeah, definitely pick up that Fleet Coordinator. What else we got going on here? Particle Defense Special. Particle Defense Specialist. Looks like there's a couple of these. You got Particle Defense, Molecular Defense, and Impact Defense Specialist. Let's see what all these are. There's Impact. There's Molecular. Impact, Molecular... Particle Manipulator. Am I missing this somewhere? Particle... There, okay, I was missing it. It looks like plus 10 damage resistance rating to some energy types and a proton pull around it, and yeah, not too impressive. Molecular is phaser disruptor plasma. That might be a little better. And then shield... Oh no, oops. Impact is, I'm assuming, kinetic and physical. Now, maybe in some niche builds, not as a general trait, I probably wouldn't go for those. Next up, we've got we did that. Cannon training. So it looks like there's cannon training, beam training, and projectile training. Let's take a look at all of those. Projectile training, 5%. Cannon training, 5% cannon. Beam training, 5% beam. I wonder, does that stack with... I wonder if that stacks with beam barrage. That's actually really good, because beam barrage is only 6% once you've stacked it up 3 times, and this is just 5% all the time. But then again, they're both pretty decent. On a beam boat, you might want to slot both of those. So that's a pretty good change. And for you torpedo users out there, you got your kinetic one, or sorry, projectile, I believe it was. Yeah, projectile training. And then cannon's got the cannon. So yeah, pretty solid trait there. Definitely based on your weapon type, slot one of those. What else we got here? Shield frequency analyst. Shield frequency analyst. Shield frequency analyst. Outgoing shield healing. Okay. That's pretty good. I'm curious, as a Romulan, I'm very curious if this affects the Valdor console healing. I'll have to see if someone actually tested that. But could be good, definitely for shield tank. Would be a nice trait. What else we got here? Bulkhead technician. Where are you at? Bulkhead Technician. There we go. Plus max hull hit points. 10% max hull. Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Definitely, again, another solid tanking one, or just a general survivability ability. I mean, 10% hull. I mean, that's not bad for space. You could really start getting your hull, hull values up there. If you like, you're an engineer and you're going for all-out tanking, you can get a really, really good hull with that. And then we've got the operative. This is one I wanted to look at. So let's take a look at that now. Operative. So here we go. Here is the test. We got operative, which is 1% crit chance to 2% crit severity. Wow. What's up with this low crit severities? Did Cryptic forget that crit severity is... You need a lot more of that than crit chance. I mean, the value per percent of crit severity is much lower than the value per percent of crit chance. I don't know why they've had a couple traits now where the crit severity value is very, very low. I mean, 1% crit chance, yeah, that's good. No problem there. Might be worth a slot. But let's see, can I slot that and my Romulan operative at the same time? Well, I guess that's only 3.8. But you can. There you go. You can slot both at the same time. You can be a Romulan operative and an operative. So you've got an operative within your operative. Yo, dog, I heard you like operatives. You can be a operative on top of your Romulan operative. So, yeah, there you go. So that's cool. I mean, even though I know as a Romulan, the only reason I created a Romulan, honestly, in the first place is for Romulan operative, well, on the character, plus also on your bridge officers. That's kind of the advantage of Romulans. So it is nice that it does stack with the regular operative, so it's like they didn't lose the crit advantage that they have. So it's nice. I mean, it's glad they at least kept that flavor because you can slot both of them together. And last but not least, we've got Thrill Seeker. Thrill Seeker. Plus flight and full impulse flight speed. That could be really good, honestly. If you're doing like a speed tank or a beam escort, I could see that being a really good trait. So very nice, honestly. 14 new traits for space, the 4 for ground. All of them, with a few exceptions, are very strong. A few of them just some weird crit severity values. I'm not sure what's going on there. Hopefully they'll be rebalanced a little bit, because 2% crit severity, or like the other one, which is like 1 point whatever it was, that's just nothing. It's just not even worth mentioning. So yeah, hopefully Cryptic will take a look at that and rebalance them. Now here's the thing. I'm really happy with the system. This is so great because I'll be able to finally actually have, ground traits on my character, which I never ever used before. So that's one really great thing about this system. The other really great thing that I actually like from a game design standpoint about this new trait separation is that, plus all the new traits they've added, there's so many traits now that it actually becomes a real choice of what to slot. Honestly, the 9 slots I've always had like 1 or 2 throwaway traits that I could easily just throw out and get to put something in its place. With all of these new traits, it's going to be actually some difficult decisions that need to be made for slotting these in. And, there's a lot of opportunity cost for swapping in a particular trait because there's so many other good traits that could be in its place. I like that. That's good game design. I'm glad that the new trait system promotes that. And I mean, especially it promotes it for all characters, not just characters who have bought, a lot of very expensive, lockbox traits. I do like that this is now for all characters. We'll have some choice and have to make some actual tactical decisions on what you want to have in your build and how to best maximize it and what traits you can afford to slot and, what you don't want to get rid of. So I like that a lot. And I will say this, for all of you people out there who chose Alien as your race, you just made out like bandits. I mean, holy cow. having that 10th trade slot now is a massive advantage. I mean, like I said before, it was even hard to find 10 really solid traits that you could fit in. But now with these new traits, that 10th trade slot is really going to be handy. And it's almost like 2 new trade slots now, because you get that 10th trade slot in ground and in space. And one of my alts is Alien, and I looked at it, and it's just great. Being able to have 10 and 10, for personal and space, or for ground and space traits is fantastic. So I don't know, any of you new players out there, if you're unsure about what race to pick, honestly, hands down, I think the best racial trait overall is now the alien trait, or trait. The alien trait that you get an extra trait slot is the best, species trait out there that you can get. I would put it even above, I don't know if I put it above, even above Romulan Operative. Some of these traits are really good. Being able to slot 10 of them now is a huge advantage. So I can see that. I could see aliens really have, a big advantage now. So they're definitely a good race. And they honestly were before, but now even more so with all of these good traits to pick from. All right, so there it is, everyone. Those are the patch notes, and that's my thoughts on the new trait system, which is really, really excellent. Wow, just a great job on this cryptic. Fantastic. I'm actually pretty impressed that they were able to get this in so quickly. I was not expecting this to be in just a week after, another pretty significant content update. So thank you very much. This is a very good patch. Now, just quickly, I did mention I'll be making some videos this weekend. There's so many new things to check out. I was planning to do a video for the Fleet Mata Raptor, which I recently purchased and created a disruptor build for. That is still on the plate, but now with this new trait system, I'm going to have to go through and redo my build, rejigger things a little bit, and retest it. So that might be delayed for a while. But what I definitely want to get done in the very near future, next couple days here, is a video on the new featured episode and also the shuttle events. Those 2 videos will definitely be coming this weekend. And then I'll get back to some actual real build videos. The Mata Raptor. I'll be also doing a build on the ship I'm flying right here, the Fayette Intel Warbird. I really love this ship. I'm very much debating whether I want to buy a fleet version for the review. Right now I'll be doing my review on the non-fleet version, but I'm really debating. This is such a great little ship. So fast and nimble. It's got the very nifty little, where is it here? It's got the very nifty enhanced battle cloak, which I'd like to show everyone. Very, very few ships in the game have the enhanced battle cloak, and it is very nice. But yeah, so those are what the videos will be coming, and that's what you can be expecting. So that is all for now. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.